Good morning, good afternoon, good night, whenever you're watching this video. I appreciate your support. My name is Joe Josh. I go by iChart Daily. Today is November 21st, and we're going to go over Bitcoin, XRP, Quant, and BONK. First, this is not financial advice. This is just a window to my thought process, giving you my opinion on a couple hypotheticals. Not financial advice. So, with that being said, today we're gonna dive into it, cuzzy. I'm back. I'm amped. Get ready. Get your notepads. I'm gonna be fast. I'm gonna be letting you know what's going on in my head. So, first things first. We start with a long-term trend, weekly chart. Why? I want to hear it. Long-term trends predict short-term outcomes. What do I mean by that? The MACD and the RSI. When you're getting bearish divergence on a weekly time frame, that usually means that the trend is over. Now, I want to explain something to you, right? You can have a great year. 2023 was a great year. You can have bad months in that year or good months in that year. You can have a bad year. You can have great months and then really bad months, but the overall trend is going one way or another way. What's going to help you understand that is the MACD and the RSI on the longer time frame. So you need to figure out what the long-term trend is, and then when you zoom to the shorter time frames, you then have, if it's bearish, you have higher probabilities of shorts. Example A. When you're bullish and the long-term trend is going up, you have higher probabilities of longs. So now that we're at above the 70, you can see here that the mountain is actually coming down. I'm going to set an alert on the weekly time frame at the 70 line. That is the line in the sand. Why? Because right away, you want to see how much room you have to bleed or how much room you have to grow. This was when, right here, was when I wanted to open up the long position because you saw support at the 50 line and you had a ton of room to grow. As the asset is getting closer to overbought, your risk is getting higher than your reward. Now that you are here at this 72.90 on the weekly time frame, and we're getting just flat momentum for the past 1, 2, 3 weeks now, and this first red candle coming in, I've been saying for a while, during a continuation, the 50 line or around it, right, 52, 53, it's a range, cuzzy, is when you're oversold, right? So there's section A and there's section B. When you're in section A, you're in a bull market and you're having continuations to the upside. Your lows and your highs are usually higher each time. When you break and you are in section B, let me just double click and show, you are getting bearish price action. Lower highs, lower lows. So we still remain bullish, right? Especially on a macro level, which is like the monthly, macro meaning long term. We are doing things that we have done in previous bull markets. But during the bull markets, there's always consolidations, which is the best time to accumulate more Bitcoin, right? Here, 20,000, here, 25,000, here, 25.4, potentially here, anywhere from 31.6 to 29.9. If this is not your first time watching this video and you remember me saying like a week or two ago, these plays on a weekly time frame could take 20 to 30 days to play out. This top took a while, this top took a while, this top took a long time, this top took a long time, but the most important thing was the lows and the highs were getting higher and higher, right? So once again, what I'm looking at is now, because we're getting the bearish divergence on the weekly, I'm expecting a bearish pattern to play out on the daily, 2-day, and 3-day, right? Because the weekly is going to show me what the daily is doing. And look what's happening. We're getting this this head and shoulders pattern, right? We have 1, 2. I said yesterday video we had insane rejection, and now we're seeing rejection again. lower than this 37.8. So what am I going to do? I'm going to look at the indicators. I want to see, well, MACD is pointing down. We are above the zero line, showing me that we're not going to break 26,000, but we have room to bleed. And look at the RSI. RSI came down below the 70, used it as resistance, came back up, made a lower high. Technical analysis 101, lower highs, lower lows. I would probably set an alert here under your previous low at 58.73 on the daily, notifying you that you have room to bleed where? Well, let's look left. 50 or potentially the 44.93. So if it breaks this and we do something like this, I would set another alert here and then notifying you to check so that if it does do something like this, then you know it's a continuation to the upside. What's a continuation to the upside? Us coming back down to potentially here, like this 35, and then we come back up into this trend and do maybe one last hoorah, like this little blip below and you see some buying pressure. You see this little blip below, you see some buying pressure, and then you have the breakdown here, forming a nice ascending triangle, which has a measured move to the downside, right? So you have this here, this would be this, the breakdown would be here, breaking down to major support of 35,000, but below this trend line, right? This is making higher lows each time. If we come back down to this support here of 35.5, we now break it, we come back up, use it as resistance to start coming down. Why am I thinking bearish patterns on a shorter time frame? Because the weekly is showing me that we could potentially have weeks of a consolidation. So once again, you can have bearish weeks but some bullish days in between, but as long as the bearish trend is still playing out on the weekly, it's going to be making lower highs and lower lows until the weekly shows that it is oversold and changes. So with that being said, I have an alert here at 36.3, right below this most recent low here, notifying me to check the chart. And now you understand what's going on with Bitcoin. Next, the 2-day, right? You always want to go to the time frame that the death cross or golden cross is about to happen, because that will allow you to understand when the next blood or pump is going to happen. The most amount of volume usually comes in and out of the asset during this, because it shows a trader like me, a technical analysis person, that the trend is changing for the worse. So once again, same lingo. We're making lower highs. We officially broke the yellow moving average. We're at the 70 line. We're about to break it. Room to bleed. MACD's about to death cross. Once again, right click, add alert on your MACD, crossing your MACD signal. What you just did was you notified when the blue line crosses, when the yellow line crosses the green line. So you don't have to sit here and watch this play out, even though you know it has a higher probability of happening, because the weekly is showing the bearish divergence. You understand? So now you want to know when this happens. Take your mouse, bring it up here. The next candle that's coming in, look down, Thursday the 23rd. Join the Discord. Link is in the channel description, because I can't post links in these videos yet because I'm not verified. Absolutely insane. Stay positive. So join the Discord. I was saying we need to watch the 2-day and the 3-day chart. Why? Because once the 3-day death crossed and the 2-day death crossed, that instantly showed that the weekly had a higher probability of actually breaking down as well. So once again, daily, set your alerts. 2-day, 3-day, we're watching it and we're looking for a consolidation back to major support of, once again, here. I would assume anywhere from 31.3 back to 31.8, right there, cuzzy. Next, XRP. Same thing, same lingo. We're going to start with the weekly. If we're seeing that the weekly is starting to get weakness and the weekly has room to bleed back down to at least the 51 to the 46, right? Because we saw support here, support here, support here. So if we're coming down, I'm assuming that we have support here, support here, support here. So now you need to figure out where those support levels on the RSI line up with your support resistance on the trend. And what are we seeing, cuzzy? First things first, here's the trend, right? We went from here to here, came down support, here to here, support, resistance, okay? broke above. Everyone went crazy. I said take your profits because you never know what's going to happen, right? Have two bags. Not financial advice, hypotheticals. What happened? We came back down, went right to this white line again. This is what I mean by trust the charts and don't listen to the noise, because what are the odds that May 2023, July 2023, and then September and October had the same support on that white line? I don't know why it does it. I really don't. 16 years, but it does it. So you got to do it. You understand? If it does it, you do it. Here we go. You zoom into the daily, right? So now you know you got room to bleed on the weekly until you're extremely oversold. So you know you can have some red days on the daily. And look at that. The current trend is we've been staying in these beautiful white lines, making lower highs, lower lows, and we're looking for somewhat of a support level. You can see here these wicks. There is buying pressure at the 59 to 60 cents, but we need to know if Bitcoin comes down because of Bitcoin's dominance, right? Bitcoin's dominance at 52.71%. That means 52% of the total market cap is just in this coin. So that means as long as that's at 50%, sometimes at 60, 70, 80%, that will bring these three coins with it, unfortunately. So you go to here and you say, well, where are we? We're still coming down and we're at that 50 line. We're at the line in the sand. The 50 line is this previous level here, 59 cents. You set an alert. Set an alert right here, right below it. I would say right here, 47.65 on the daily. If it breaks that, you are now in section B. And guess what the first thing you should think of is, we have room to bleed. And then you're looking at where do you have room to bleed to. So you scroll down and you look previously and you say, well, this previous one stopped here at the 40. This one here was at the 32. Obviously at the 30 down here. This one's at the 36. And you find a range, right? You don't pick the 39. You don't pick the 23. You find the range in the middle, right? So anywhere from 31 to 37 could be your next potential bottom. And guess what? We're at 48 with room to bleed. If we break this 50 and we're officially in section B, we're breaking the support here of 59 cents and we're staying in this trend, right? Right now, all this is potentially another one of these, right? We had wicks, we went up to the white line and we broke down. We got wicks, we went up to the white line. Now, potentially, we could break down. If we break down, you want to know where you could break down to. So once again, you're watching your RSI, and if it lines up with potentially 57 cents to 55 cents, then guess what? You're extremely oversold at your next support levels of 56 cents, right? And once again, you would click on this one, click on bars pattern, right? If we're just doing this, boom, do something like that. All I did was copy it right there, right? So we came down, we went up, we went here. If we come down, it brings you right down to here, 57 to 55 cents. Quant, same lingo, weekly time frame. What we're looking at is the MACD and the RSI. If it's in section A, section B. If it's in section B, which is in section B and section B, that means we could have a continuation to the downside all the way back down to 85 or even lower. So what we're looking for is the previous trend, right? The previous trend was this. Okay? And the reason why I'm drawing that again is I want to see if it comes back down to retest this white top line. Let's just change it for the argument. This top yellow line back around this 92, 87, and $84. 1, 2, 3. Once again, I choose 3 levels. As of right now, it doesn't look great. The reason why I say that is just look left on any chart and any ticker. And if you see this coming down below the 50 and this having a death cross below the 0 line, look at the price action thereafter. Okay? That's all I got to say. We went from 102 down to 84. Look left. Death cross right here. We went from, I'm not even giving you the 150, 111 to 50. Okay? From 50 to 70, look at that, cuzzy. 94 to 197, right? From 47 to 59, we went from 108 to 154. So the same way you trust it on the way up, you got to trust it on the way down, regardless of what certain people are telling you. All right, I can't say certain things anymore because telling you this information and having this channel is more valuable than me being myself, unfortunately. So now we zoom in. Now that you understand that you're getting bearish divergence on the weekly, that helps you understand that we could probably continue lower on this. 1, 2, it's a falling wedge, has a higher probability of potentially breaking to the upside, but the most important thing is, do we come back up and form a head and shoulders, right? Because you got to look at the bigger picture, right? We went from 84 to 109. 109 down to 95. Came back up, broke the high, right? We broke this high and we went to 112. So now we're forming another one of these, right? We're coming down. We're going to pop up. Well, if we pop up and we form anything around here, anything around here, anything around here, it's a head and shoulders pattern, which once again is a bearish short-term pattern. Why does that have a higher probability of playing out? Because the weekly is bearish, and long-term trends will help you predict what's happening on the shorter time frames, right? So now we look at the indicators on the daily. Okay, we want to see, does it stop here and come back up and is extremely overbought? It does look like that. Okay, I think the bleeding has stopped for now on Quant. You can see the buying pressure, and once again, this is a falling wedge, which has a higher probability of breaking out. So right now, excuse me, not financial advice, you could open up a long position with your stop loss at your below your most recent lows here of 97.8. Okay, and then your take profit level, you want it to break this, the 101, and then your major take profit, you go back to the weekly and you see where there was previous resistance. You can see right there, major resistance at the 104. Anything above that is your greed level. Go back to the daily, see if it lines up. Lines up exactly with these reversal candles right here. Okay, major support, major resistance, wicks above, right? Reversal candle, reversal, reversal. Everything's coming down from that level. So once again, 3 levels: 104, 102. I'm sorry, 101, 102, 104. Call it a day, cuzzy. But once again, after that, now you're looking to see what plays out. And if it does come back down to this level thereafter, because the head and shoulders, this is the shoulder, it would come back down, come back up. This falling wedge comes down, stops here, and then breaks down and completes the other side of the shoulder. So, last but not least, BONK. First thing I want to tell you with these, not financial advice. This is my opinion. When I see something that has a market cap of like 200 million, go to coin market cap and just see where other coins market caps are, like down here, right? Like way down here, because I don't know what BONK is, I don't know what's all that, right? But if Pancake Swap and all these ones could go to 500-600, right? Right? I mean, what page? I don't even know what page is on now, but Terra Classic's at 429. So you got 200 more million just to get to a coin that I don't even know exists anymore. But that's my point. And my point is, these coins that have a very low market cap, this is going to hurt some people's feelings. This coin has outperformed XRP. It's outperformed every single coin since October, dude. It's like a month, and this coin did 2,350%. You know, I used to say, does the news matter? Does it? Right? You have coins that are about to have billions to trillions of dollars tokenized on it. You're about to have coins that are about to have ETFs built around them. You have coins that have major use cases and partnerships. And BONK did 2,300% for the month. How do you feel about that? And this is my point, right? So hypothetically, XRP just went off. This is a better asset than these, right? Not necessarily, right? During every bull market, the low market cap coins, Pepe, like all these coins, they pump because it's just easier to move them. It really is. Do we know where this coin could go, like technical analysis wise? Absolutely not. What I would do is I would look at the market cap and then compare it to other coins that are in its sector and see where it's gone to, right? Because that's what I did when Shiba and Doge. Shiba and Doge, they both leveled out. I think it was like 23, 24, 25 billion during the top, and it went right to that market cap. Now, depending on the circulating supply, right, and if it has a burn rate or lockup periods, staking, stuff like that, that will show you the price, right? Because if BONK has more, if BONK has more coins in circulation than any other coin in its sector, then when it's at a certain market, if it's at the same market cap, the price will obviously be lower, right? Because there's more coins in circulation. But to give you a technical analysis, I mean, it went all the way to the 95. I mean, 2,500% on a weekly time frame, went from 39 to 8 to 92. It's extremely, extremely overbought. Right now, you know, what I would be watching is maybe the daily, seeing if you're getting bearish divergence on something like this. I do see something like this playing out. But coins like this, I mean, not financial advice. Every 150%, if it was to continue going up, maybe you take 5% profit, 10% profit, put it into a stable coin, collecting 5% interest or something like that. The reason why I say that is I've been doing this for 9 years, and I've seen coins go up 40,000, 50,000, 100,000, right? Hex, stuff like that, millions of percent. But eventually they do fall 80 to 95% during the next bear market. So when something is going up, you should automatically start preparing yourself to take profits. When things start going down, you should automatically start preparing yourself to dollar cost average, right? So right now, what I would be watching is the RSI. If it breaks the 70 and breaks this level here, you can see here, it's using the 64 to potentially 66 as support. It's making lower highs each time, which is bearish, right? Obviously, I mean, if something is up this much, once again, if Bitcoin comes down, BONK come down as well. It's just going to bring it with it. You just want to see if it's a continuation to the upside. The most recent support was here, all those zeros, and then 9721. So if it does break down and we have a healthy consolidation, I could see maybe back here, anywhere from the 15158 down to the 9721. And then once again, higher low to this one, higher low to this one, higher low to this one, and just another higher wave. This was just a bigger wave. And then you have room to grow back to overbought levels here again. You understand? That's the video. Love you guys. I'll leave you with an alert on this as well. So I would put an alert here, right? You want to alert yourself at the 65.94 on the daily that it's coming down. And then have an alert below the most recent lows at the 63.57 notifying you what? That you have room to bleed. That's it. From here down to here, right? That's it. And then you want to line up your 50 line once again with your levels here, which was here. And then if you're extremely oversold at the 50, you're still above the 0 line, showing you that you're not breaking this low here, and you're making a higher low again. That's the video, folks. I love you guys. Appreciate the support. Just like, subscribe, comment, join the Discord, and I appreciate if you could help me grow this channel again. Enjoy the day.